Well, over on my side, um, I have watched 5 episodes of Edgerunners, and uh,
Yeah.
allow me to say, might be one of my favorite animes. It's insanely high up on my list. It is ridiculously good, like ridiculously good. Holy fucking shit! I feel alive. God damn, is it a good show? And um, everything about it is delivering, obviously aesthetically, on the things that I like. And it reminds me of, do you remember my profile picture back in the day? For a while, was this like screenshot of an anime that never came out, called Urbance, and it was like,
Oh man, a million
yeah,
years ago.
and it was this really sick animation of like just these kids and like a dystopian city and lasers and lights and like, club neon and shit like that. And it was just like, it was just a whole vibe, and it looked really really good, but it never fucking came out, right? This is delivering the aesthetic I want of all of that, and it's grabbing the aesthetic I like about Mirror's Edge and all that shit. And all that is just, it's cyberpunk. It's the thing, right? It's doing it. Okay, cool. Done. So you don't have to question that
It's
at
that
all.
dystopia where we have robot legs and cool fashion instead of our current dystopia where like I can't make a decision at the store about which toilet paper to buy, and like the company is using that decision paralysis to keep me in the store to play like subconscious ads through the fucking grocery store radio.
Yeah. The thing is, though, is that it does a really good job of like showing you. I mean, but that, I suppose this is what any sufficiently well detailed cyberpunk setting will do, is like, you're in or you're out, but either way, if whatever you like here is going to be immediately matched with some horrible shit, right? The things that are cool are also like hand in hand with a fucked up horrible way to live, and a fucked up horrible society. And it's a perfect blend of, every time there's something like, god damn that's cool, immediately followed by, holy fuck that's awful. Like, it sandwiches those feelings the entire time. um yeah, like, it's just, it really does a really good job establishing that. Musically, they've licensed some really dope tracks. They got Franz Ferdinand in there. They got like some stuff that is like, just, it stands out and it's fun to listen to. Like, I didn't know, I get exactly what kind of soundtrack to expect, but I suppose I just was waiting for like anime. And in this case, they kind of like reached out and did some more with that. So it sounds great. It looks great. Obviously, Trigger's doing what Trigger does. Like, they're having fun with the characters, their designs, their personality. All of that is great. But just like the establishing of, yeah, the setting, the characters, all of it, it does so much in so little time. And you get the feeling that, like, because the dialogue is happening so quickly as well, that like, it's almost like it's compressed. Like, the pacing doesn't feel too fast, but the amount of things to look at or take in any given scene is overwhelming. Conversation, like, I constantly have to kind of pause, back it up a little bit, replay that conversation, because I was reading the log version, or I was looking at something in the background, or there was just something in the set. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot going on, but it still is going to take its time. Like, there's a scene of the main character just walking through the city for a while on his way to school, and there's just so much to look at and take in that. And it's, that's a nice little pace setter, a little tone setter, but like, it's still hyper dense as well, so you're on alert the entire time.
Yeah, one of the reasons for that is likely that they're using the in-game architecture and environment as the fucking actual backdrop for most of the outdoor scenes. So like a lot of that design work and style work is done. Like it was ready to go.
Yeah, oh, that's so. And the thing is, I'm looking at locations and like, big stores and bars and things like that, and I'm like, I'm guessing these are places you would actually go in the game as well. Um, I definitely, I'm gonna think that uh, a lot of that was just like, here's reference from what we've already set up for the game. So because that's already obviously so rich, though, it just integrates beautifully into what they're doing. And I mean, yeah, you want to talk about just like, uh, hey, cool implants are cool, and cyber eyes and internet everything and all that fun stuff is great. Now here's what it's like when the megacorp owns the country and runs everything, and this is a, uh, uh, just like, yeah, it's brutal. It's just fucking brutal about it. And
It's I'm glad to hear it because like the number one, because I haven't played much of Cyberpunk 2077, but I am fairly familiar with the genre. It's like the number one part of Cyberpunk is that the advancement of technology has rendered human life cheaper than ever, which is counterintuitive, but it's
unbelievably
like
so. Yeah,
your fake arm is more valuable than your like entire life as a human creature.
that's it. And there are times where like a setting is not like that. It's a setting where you would think human life would be valued, and then like something like shocking would happen, and then everyone would just kind of go on about their day, and it would rip me out of it because it would be like, wait, what? Like, why are you not reacting to that more? God, I want like I'm trying to think of a good example of this. It happens from time to time in stuff, but like I mean, it's been so long now, but I remember like parts of Gantz where I kind of was just like, "What? Like, that's a that's a weird way to react to something that horrible," you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, in this case, it's like everything from top to bottom is just beating down exactly how unbelievably cheap life is, you know? And it just, yeah, and it goes hand in hand with your cool arm blade and your cool arm gun and all the other fancy shit you want, you know. Something
Mhm.
else as well that is just so fucking awesome is like I was also wondering about whether it would be like it's would this be an anime in not just our art style and like character aesthetic and flavor, but like would it also basically be like, okay, when he goes to school it's gonna kind of be like a Japanese high school, but it'll just be in this cyberpunk world? Like are anime tropes gonna kind of fall into place in a way that makes this like it's cyberpunk, but it's really we're just gonna do what you are recognize in anime and stuff? And it's like, no, no, not really. It's gonna be told and it's gonna do things in a way that is like, I guess probably what I imagine the game would do to tell its stories. Um, and romance and relationships are handled in a not anime kind of way, but in a, I guess, more, uh, I guess, fitting for the setting kind of way. You know what I mean? Um, it so far at least. I'm 5 episodes in, but I was kind of wondering. I'm like, so are we gonna have like, letters behind the school with hearts on them and doshio moments? And it seems like no, not quite. We're gonna have some, fucked up, pretty mature moments between characters, and people be fucking because that's what you do. Um,
And let me ask you a question. This is very important. English or Japanese?
I decided that I would click play and take whatever Netflix gave me.
Oh, that's
Um,
interesting.
yeah, because when it comes to stuff like this, where it's going to be, like simulcast and multi-launched in different areas, I'm going to just be like, let's just see what it defaults to. And I pressed play, and it by default went to Japanese. So
Really?
yeah,
It knew you were a huge weeb.
I have no idea what it knew, but I just pressed play and I said, I'm going to watch this in whatever way the default setting is. And the default setting was in Japanese. So I said, all right, that's how I'm going to watch it.
So I've been told that both dubs are excellent,
I imagine.
but the subtitling on the Japanese version loses a lot of flavor because they don't use much of the cyber parlance.
They do a good bit, though. In fact, what I would say is the cyber parlance is happening in the dub, in the text of the subtitles, and I'm not hearing it in what they say. You know, so
Yeah,
when
sorry, that's what I mean. Is
yeah, people are
because
being
it's a dub subtitle. The subtitles are just the closed captioning for the dub.
yes, so people are being called chooms all the time, but the actual things they're saying is just a normal Japanese sentence that I would recognize. You know, so
Mhm.
it's not it's not a transliteration necessarily. It's still taking the same subtitles as I guess what the original dub would be.
What the fuck is choom?
I'm assuming it's like a slang for like you're like a yeah no gonk is bad, choom is like good. Like I think choom might be like dude, and I think gonk is like idiot. That's
Oh,
what.
chum. It's supposed to be chum.
Okay,
Okay, I get it.
so
Wait, choom's a real word?
did you play?
Yeah.
Wait, you said you didn't you say you touched the game a bit?
I touched the game for like 3 hours and then it just basically completely fucking fell apart on me.
Okay, did you grab any lingo in that time?
I heard many chooms, but I
Yeah.
didn't know what the fuck it meant.
Yeah, the context I got was yeah, Choom, Gonk, and Nova as well. Um, but yeah, well, I mean, I'm always glad to see that like uh by saying I'm like, yo, I pressed play and it turned out it was subbed, and everyone and a lot of people are like, both are good, and some people are like, no, switch to English, and other people are like, Japanese is great. Like that's good because that means that all
Yeah,
versions of
just
it are
just
solid.
try it on rewatch.
Exactly, which is the best thing because, goddamn, do I remember my teenage years when there was only one way, and that was the only way that you could hear it because the other way was just garbage. So
Or just totally unavailable.
yeah, no,
And sometimes the only way available was the garbage.
hmm yeah, I'm down to switch it over and see because I did that with like JoJo, for example. Was like I switched a couple times back and forth just to see what they sounded like in each respective language because gotta hear Kira killing it. So yeah, I might do that in this case too as well. Um, Especially if like they did a really good job with the casting. I see people talking about Gus Fring, so I'm guessing they 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 hired uh God, what's his name
That
again?
guy,
Uh,
Giancarlo Esposito.
Esposito. Yes, cool, very nice. Yeah, man. But anyway, all this to say that like it's just one of my favorite things ever so far. It's so fucking cool. It's so good. And I already like I'd get to the end of like a couple episodes and then I'd like jump back to and go back to a scene and watch it again, and stuff and just yeah, I'm probably gonna just bang the rest of that out like maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, I don't know, but holy shit, Trigger, super good. And we talked about how people hit the game again and brought it to the players to an all-time high. And yeah, like my love for this will get me to pop that game in and check that setting out. Um, Absolutely, especially if things are better now. It's been patched into improvement, and if again, you said there's a combat overhaul, so that is
It's really smart that you make a project like this that focuses on the setting because then you get to go, hey, there's more of the setting over here.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And to me, um, there's I guess like the original source material, which was the tabletop game, and then there's Edgerunners as my primary way of interfacing with it as my my preferred
Hmm.
a
Hmm.
priority entry, and then I'm like, oh, and if you want more of that, you can check out this game. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
They made a video game based off of Edgerunners.
Wild, wild.
I think the funniest comparison was Cyberpunk 2077 is still flawed, but people are coming around on it now that it's been mostly improved. And the wild chasm in between, man, I watched Edgerunners. I really wish I could see more of that. Hey, I'm really enjoying Cyberpunk. And wow, Arcane was great.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I should look into playing League of Legends. Like, just the absolute fucking pit
I was just
that
about to bring up
separates those two groups.
I was just about to bring up Arcane as another way of like, yeah, you got me interested in this setting. That I thought I like what I saw in this show. I thought it was pretty cool. Um, I could see myself diving into some entry into it, and that entry will be Project L when it launches.
It
'Cause-
is. It is. The longer it goes, the funnier it is to me about the way League of Legends is trying to expand. And it's desperately trying to expand into not being League of Legends. It wants to be a show, a card game, a fighting game, an RPG series, and an adventure series because they're well aware that they're never going to get new mainstream people to play League because it's just an actively vicious, mean, upsetting game.
Well, I have to imagine that League and Fortnite are games that are like, and Minecraft, for example, they represent games that are like, they're at such industry saturation levels that anybody who's not playing them, it's because they've actively made a choice, right?
Yeah.
It's not
So
like it's
people
just
are
still working its way out there.
someone in the chat pointed out that as a counter argument to my point is that they actually are remaking League of Legends for phone and console. It's called Wild Rift, and it's literally just phone slash console League. And what's interesting about that is that it's way better. It's way better than regular League.
Hmm. Yeah,
It's
I think you were
it's
saying that before. Yeah.
it's like how do I put this? You know when you know when you go to a character and like their web page or in-game thing is like a photo of the character and then it's like an animated gif of their move and then a second one and a third one and like a paragraph of text, right? And
Mm-hmm.
that's your breakdown. When you load it up in Wild Rift, it has like these enormous fucking gigantic animations of the characters doing cool shit with narration and fucking voice acting and explanations over their actual abilities. And then the actual game is like tweaked to be twice as fast. And it's just like, oh my god, this feels like a fucking direct replacement
Well, I mean,
for League
well
that they're
because
saying is only phone and console.
you can't actually replace League, otherwise you upset an empire, right? Like
It's
you can't StarCraft 2 the situation. You have to keep the thing that's been the monster that it is to the way it is. And if you're doing
I,
other shit, it's got to be side less important shit, even if it is better.
it's fascinating because I'm seeing some people respond to what I'm saying, and yeah, you're right. There's no narration. I'm kind of painting a picture of fanciness here. Um, but people are describing it like, it's not quite as good as Real League, and it's like, man, I would make that game 100 times shittier to just cut the fucking game
Mm-hmm.
time in half.
Mm.
Like the like almost everything that makes me pissed off when I play that game is being stuck in it for 40 minutes.
I mean that time sink on each game sounds insane. Uh, yeah, but anyway, all this to say though, but just like yeah, fucking just amazing so far on my halfway point through Edgerunners, and fully just a successful thing that I don't know how much or how little involvement there was, or whatever the storytelling or approval process was, but Imaishi doing a fucking sick job with it. Cool to see, him with like a team that is gonna take some of like even like some of the color lessons they learned from Promare are being used here. There's a couple scenes where they do some similar lighting tricks where the outlines and things are not black, but they're actually just like another scene, another color from the background or something like that. Super duper good. And yeah, I guess again, when you have a really strong setting and you want to go tell a story within that setting, you can probably go nuts because there's probably like stuff that'll change the world and in the main game or whatever. But if it's just over here and it's on the side, then you can. There's no restrictions, right? So fuck yeah, Cyberpunk Edge
So what you're
Runners.
saying is that you're enjoying your gaslighting campaign.
Into yes, exactly. They're doing an incredible job
That
of
might be the fucking wildest take I've ever seen about a show in my goddamn life.
Okay, wait, hold on. What? I thought you were
That is
saying.
a real take.
Okay, I thought you were
That
saying that Cyberpunk, rather CD Projekt, is gaslighting everybody with this anime to make
that
it.
is exactly the real take.
Okay.
That
Wh-
they are gaslighting everyone
Whomst.
into tricking them that Cyberpunk was actually good by showing them a fancy cartoon.
That's okay. Again, whomst. Is this a main character of Twitter?
Yeah. Well, actually,
Perfect.
it's multiple. I've been seeing it all week. It's fucking hilarious. It's fucking hilarious. It's so nuts.
If the quality is exceptional, then give me the gas mask. I'll huff that shit. I'll huff that tank all day.